Ooh, I got my coffee. Cheers. I got my diamond rings on today. Hopefully the camera focuses so you can see that. This one on my pinky shines a little harder, but I'm feeling good. Crypto's looking good, but I'm reacting to Altcoin Daily today. Um, Bitcoin Bombshell dropped on CNBC today. So what comes next? Let's take it in. Let's see what happens.
Almost more importantly than what the U.S. is doing is what China just did.
Mike Novogratz just dropped a bombshell on CNBC. Galaxy Digital's Mike Novogratz is the poster boy for Wall Street turned crypto, and he just gave us major insight on what's going on with this dip, the Federal Reserve, and how Wall Street's biggest banks are positioning. So first, what's going on with the Fed? This happened, so what's the Fed going to do next? And how will Bitcoin react as the Fed continues making moves?
And listen, the Fed is going to keep moving rates lower. How fast they do, we'll see. I think Chairman Powell was pretty straightforward yesterday. You know, the data is going to matter. I think he'd like to move rates lower faster, but he's not going to be a kamikaze. And so right now you're pricing at about 33 basis points for each of the next meetings. That's probably fair. And we'll see with payroll and a few other.
Remember, this is the first time that the Fed is dropping interest rates, right? We're going to have many more of these throughout the entirety of next year for sure, and possibly into 2026 as well. So it's going to be a slow process, but you're going to slowly start to see liquidity move back into the market. And don't forget, China is already aggressively dropping and putting a lot of quantitative easing into their economy. So you're going to see the same thing forward here.
Big data points.
So what do you think each basis point or even quarter point reduction means to the price of Bitcoin if you think that they actually move in tandem?
Listen, I think almost more importantly than what the U.S. is doing is what China just did, right? We've got now the two biggest economies in the world, you know, cutting rates and pumping liquidity into the system. And at the same time, we're going to have an election and either candidate wins, we're going to have a lot more regulatory clarity.
Yes.
And it was really interesting what Walt Bettinger said. He said,
y'all need to be very careful in these next coming weeks to months because the markets are going to get really volatile. Yes, I expect it to move closer to the upside because historically in November we've seen a lot of green months for crypto, especially in halving years, but you guys cannot be using leverage right now. The markets are way too uncertain. Election season is way too uncertain. You have to give us some time. Be safe out there. Be safe out there.
well, if we had regulatory clarity, then Schwab would probably be much bigger in crypto. At least that's the way I heard him. I think there are scores of TradeFi companies and large ones with the exact same idea. And I'm really confident that a year from now, we will have regulatory clarity.
So obviously, if Trump follows through on all of his crypto promises, we will have major regulatory clarity. Obviously, that's true.
Remember when I told y'all Trump might be the guy for us coming just for crypto investors? I'm saying he's been the most consistent. Kamala just started saying positive things. So as of right now, when it comes to crypto, Trump might be our guy.
True, right? Trump is promising crypto holders more than we ever thought possible at this point, and this would be huge.
This afternoon, I'm laying out my plan to ensure that the United States will be the crypto capital of the planet and the Bitcoin superpower of the world, and we'll get it done. If crypto is going to define the future, I want to be mined, minted, and made in the USA.
But what about Kamala? I would hope that she would do better for crypto than Joe Biden. Would Kamala do just even slightly better for crypto than Joe Biden? Interesting.
Yo, can we give me some damn credit right now for like calling literally everything that's coming out in this video? Like this is crazy. It's almost like I can see the future or something. But for real, like I'm dead ass calling all this stuff.
Perspective Mike Novogratz gives here.
And I'm really confident that a year from now, we will have regulatory clarity.
Under whomever is in charge.
Yes. I spent a lot of time speaking to people around the Harris campaign. The one thing that comes clear is
all y'all need to know, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep pausing so much, but all y'all need to know is that ETFs are being put on the, and regular people in TradFi can buy those ETFs. That's all you need to know. You know regulatory clearance is coming soon. You know it's coming.
This is going to be a first-term presidency, not a second Biden term. And that means different personnel, different policies. They are going to shift away from the Elizabeth Warren faction, which really, I think most Democrats realized it was a fool's errand. Like, why are you standing in the way of a technology that's important? You know, you think about what's the important technologies coming. AI is certainly the most important, but blockchain is right there, right. Robotics. And so
you've been publicly supporting Democrats for a very long time, but there has been a real move, obviously, within the crypto space to support former President Trump. Do you see that changing over this issue of crypto the way you now see it?
You know, listen, it's 33 days to the election, and I think most people have made their choice up. And I think this is going to be who gets the vote. To me, I think it's a 50-50 call right now on who's going to win.
It's close.
And you're going to see it all in 7 states, 42 counties, and about 100,000 votes. It's a crazy way to elect a president. I do think, though, going forward, both the House and the Senate and whoever's in the executive side is going to be pro-crypto. I spent a lot of time with different congressmen and senators. I'm seeing one today on the Republican side.
At this point, you almost kind of have to be. I mean, there's going to be tons of people that jump into the space that are new, but the number of rising crypto holders in Canada and the U.S. is exponentially in the globe as well too. So to get to capture all these votes, you're going to kind of have to play some sort of angle and pander towards us, because whatever gives us better regulatory clearance and is more regulatory friendly for us is who we're going to go with. It'll only make sense if you're investing in crypto.
And they all kind of get it now. This is an important technology for America.
Hey, big thank you to channel partner Axelar for making this video possible. Axelar is the multi-chain platform that unifies Web3 for developers, delivering applications from any blockchain to every user easily. This is a teaser video. Let's watch this together. I will link Axelar in the description below. Check them out. We are actually seeing both sides come around on crypto when we look at the larger U.S. political scope. I love this. U.S. Congressman Ro Khanna. This is a Democrat from California. He supports establishing a Bitcoin strategic reserve. This is huge.
Make it legal tender, buddy. I like my Bitcoin tenderized, like I like my meat tenderized. Whoa, pause. Whoa, pause. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But like on a serious note, we need it to be legal tender. We need to be able to pay for stuff in Bitcoin at least, and hopefully soon in crypto as well. That was crazy. Whoa.
And we want to make sure that we're leading in the crypto industry and the Bitcoin industry, and that we're doing that here. I also think that we want to make sure that we have the openness to having Bitcoin as part of the Federal Reserve as a reserve asset because of its potential for appreciation and because of its potential to allow America to set the financial standards.
So yeah, I tend to believe Mike Novogratz when he says things like this. At least I want to believe.
When you say pro-crypto, though, what does that mean? I mean, look, there's Bitcoin and there's Ether. Then I'm looking at Solana. There's Ripple below it. What else are we talking about?
I think it's relatively simple what D.C. has to do. They have to pass a market infrastructure bill that's not too suffocating, right? Tell us where we're regulated. One reason we don't have a lot of apps on top of these blockchains is that companies are scared to build. You know, real companies are scared to build apps on top of blockchains because they're not sure if they're going to get arrested for issuing a token or not. And so once there's clarity, you'll see a lot more innovation on blockchains. And so it's a market infrastructure bill, a stablecoin bill, and it's a direction to the OCC to let TradeFi companies hold crypto on their balance sheets. Those three things, and I'll stop going to Washington. as the whole crypto community.
Breaking news, Bitwise files for a spot XRP ETF with the SEC.
I don't know if I've talked a lot of shit about XRP in the past, but if I ain't gonna lie, it may be up for XRP, man. It may be up for XRP. I'm not gonna speak too soon. We have to revisit this one for sure, for sure, for sure, for sure.
Don't be bearish on things like this. This would be huge for any altcoin. By the way, how are the current
Oh
spot
God.
ETFs doing? Like, to me, they look healthy, they look steady. What do you think, Mike? How's Wall Street thinking about this? What's the next big milestone for Bitcoin crypto ETF
Let's hear it,
adoption?
Mike.
Explain it to me.
What are you hearing as it relates to the ETFs and how big the inroads have been? Obviously, there was a big move afoot when this first happened, but it's quieted down materially since then. And I'm trying to understand what's happened, because I think part of the expectation was that, you know, all these advisors were all of a sudden going to be out there marketing this stuff, and it was going to shift the balance.
One moment before he says it, I want to give my take first. I think y'all need to hear my viewpoint on it before he says anything. For one, the markets and the past 6 months or so, we've been on a clear downtrend. So there's no reason to flood everyone into the space throughout the summertime and get anybody wrecked. That's number one. Because most of the time people come to space, they start Bitcoin, but they'll move on to other stuff. And even though Bitcoin's only went down a few percent from all-time highs, all those other things have been smashed, completely smashed. Like most other alts have been smashed, right? So I think especially once the campaign season is over, we have our president moving into next year with clear direction on where the markets are headed and how the economy's doing. You'll see a lot of these bigger companies start to show the way they were doing in early January, February, March, and April, and that's why we saw such massive inflows to the ETFs. And we've also seen massive inflows recently as well, if you look at the numbers. So I think that's slowly going to come back, but I want to hear what Mike Novogratz has to say about it. I want to hear it.
You know, that's a slower process than I think the market anticipated, right? Like a lot of these big platforms are just starting a month ago, starting this month, starting next month. And so I think this will be a, you know, ongoing play over the years, not over the months. And I just think the more different ways you give access, the next big jolt to Bitcoin is going to be when we have options that trade on the ETFs. The SEC said they're coming. I don't know if it's in 3 weeks or a month, but we will have.
And what do you think that jolt is worth?
You know, if you look at MicroStrategy as the one place right now you can get leverage on Bitcoin as a retail investor, it trades at more than 2.3 times the value of the Bitcoin it has, mostly because of the options. It is the single, often most weeks, it's the single largest, option stock in the whole market. And that tells me something, that there's a whole bunch of young guys on Robinhood that want to play crypto and want to do it with leverage. And
what do you think happens, by the way, to MicroStrategy if, in fact, that options become available?
You know, we'll see. We'll see. Michael Saylor has got a almost Elon Musk-like hold on a lot of people. They believe in him. It seems to be a stock that's very expensive relative to the Bitcoin it owns, but fighting Elon Musk when he was hot was a hard
get your head taken off.
I'm sure people think the same thing with Saylor.
People are
Do not be caught on the sidelines. We show you.
Great video. Appreciate Altcoin Daily for keeping dropping the gems. I'll be racking to many more of these. I'm not going to stop. Slow down. I don't care what anyone says, okay? I like these videos, and a lot of the people that support my channel like it as well, so I'm going to keep doing them until they tell me otherwise, or until I stop liking them. But regardless, great video, Altcoin Daily. Love it. Leave a like on this video and subscribe to your boy, man. There'll be so much more of this. I'm going to do some more in-depth videos on like how to navigate the markets and market updates and things like that. So this is also kind of leading into that as well. Like I said before, there's a lot of new people coming into the space. There's a lot of new people. So I want to do more videos like this. And some is going to do myself with my own analysis as well. But yeah, stick around for that. See you in the next one.